Hey everybody, so today I'm going to walk you through a bridal look that I did for this beautiful girl Stephanie who I went to high school with, and she was a great bride to work with, but I'm going to just walk you through step by step what I did. So basically what you're seeing now is, before I actually started recording, I just applied Urban Decay's primer potion all over the eyelid, and now I'm placing Naked Pigment on the whole lid by MAC, and in the crease I'm starting to build a soft crease with a 217 brush and Soft Brown by MAC, and I just keep going in and kind of building up the crease little by little, starting with mostly in the larger crease, just soft motions, and then in the deeper crease here I'm applying a slightly darker brown. And you really want to pick it up with precision on your brush, just the tip of the brush, so you can really place it, especially when you're using a fluffier blending brush like I am here. Just apply the shadow directly on the tip of the brush and you'll have a lot better control over it. I like to go back and blend with a dry brush just to make sure it's as smooth as possible. And now I'm going in with the darkest reddish brown matte shade. This is Sketch on a 217 again. And like I said before, just picking that up on the very tip of my brush so I can really decide exactly where I want to place it. And then going in and just dry brushing that until it is seamless. Always kind of take a step back and make sure everything's equal on both sides, and then you can add a little bit like I am here where you need to balance it out. And now I'm just adding Vanilla Pigment by MAC under the eyebrow to kind of blend away any edge that might have been there before. And again, I'm using a 217 for that. Underneath the eye, I'm using the same shadow that I used first in her crease, Soft Brown by MAC, just to start building a soft underneath smoky line. And now I'm going in with Sephora's liquid liner, and I like to lift up on the lid just a little bit with my thumb so I can get as close to the waterline or the lash line as possible. And I do short strokes, and then I just follow through with a larger stroke to kind of smooth them all together. And then for the wing, just kind of follow the natural curve of the lower lid and then connect it. That's the way I do it. I just kind of pulled it back if you saw that. And that just makes a nice smooth line. And again, the same thing on the other side. I picked up some Carbon Black Shadow by MAC and took it on a small, very small precision angled brush. Those are Bridal brushes, BDELLUM. I've only seen them once before at a makeup show, and I picked up a bunch of them, and they are amazing brushes. They have a website. I believe it's just bridalbrushes.com. And again, I'm using that carbon to kind of smooth through to even out the wings. And it always helps to just have a Q-tip with some makeup remover to really perfect that and take away any shadows that were there before. It adds to the cat eye effect. Again, just smoothing the edge with some Carbon Black to soften that edge just a tiny bit. Now I'm applying MAC's Fast Response Eye Cream under the eye area. This is basically just a lot of caffeine, and what that's going to do is depuff the area and take away some of the red. And I asked her what kind of skin she had, and she said combination, so I'm applying MAC's Skin Refine Zone to her T-zone, where she said she gets the most oily, because this product will actually, over time, shrink your pores, which just kind of helps to stop the oil from secreting so heavily. And now I'm just applying Complete Comfort Cream over the rest of her face where she said she was dry. And I'm really buffing that in. Now I'm taking a little bit of Pro Longwear Concealer, and on a 188 brush, I'm just kind of touching it to any areas that are red or a blemish or any kind of imperfection, just putting a pretty good amount on those single areas and pressing it in, and very subtly kind of blending it out, not too heavily though. I want to build coverage on these areas, so I want to let that first layer dry just a little bit and then go in and start to add a little bit more. I love Pro Longwear Concealer. It is amazing. It's full coverage, but it's a very thin liquid, so it never looks heavy, which is amazing, especially on brides that are so naturally beautiful. They don't need heavy coverage at all. And I'm just pressing it under the eye area and kind of buffing it out everywhere else so it's not too heavy. If you don't have a 188 brush by MAC, you need to go get one, because it is like the greatest brush to ever exist. I don't know if you saw, but I put her moisturizer on with that brush as well. And now I'm just kind of stippling the concealer just to get a little bit of extra coverage just in the areas that were a little bit more red than others. And now I'm using a 224 brush by MAC to just kind of really soften up around those concealer areas, but not taking away any from the areas where you really want that coverage. Now I'm starting to apply a very thin layer of MAC Face and Body Foundation. I love this foundation. It gives you a nice natural dewy finish, and it's sheer enough that she's going to look perfected, but extremely natural perfection, because once you get the coverage with the concealer, you don't need a full coverage foundation on top of that. And I think a lot of people kind of don't realize that, so you can get the most natural, flawless look with Face and Body Foundation on top of Pro Longwear Concealer. I did a mixture on her of shades C3 and C5. I don't yet have a pretty good collection of Face and Body because I just started to become obsessed with it myself, but it's so sheer that you really can use it on almost 3 shades difference from what it looks like in the bottle, and you can kind of adjust it with powders. And I'm only using the very tips of my brush when I'm applying this on her, because it's going to keep it the most lightweight and it won't pull any of that concealer off. And on top of that, I'm just applying a Mineral Skin Finish by MAC, and I'm doing a lighter shade under her eye and generally throughout the T-zone. And then I'm using Sheer Press Powder by MAC over the rest of the foundation, just to kind of set it so it doesn't move. And now going in with a darker shade of Mineral Skin Finish than her complexion, just 1 shade darker. I'm using a 190 brush by MAC and just starting at right where the ear is and kind of aiming towards the middle of the nose and mouth, and just doing circular motions, really softly blending that. Also, ask what kind of neckline they have, because you want to incorporate whatever contour color you use on their face onto their clavicle. And basically, it just ties it all together, but she has amazing neckline, so I really wanted to show that off by deepening the sunken in areas just a little bit more than they naturally are, and then highlighting her collarbone. And I'm going to use Soft and Gentle Mineral Skin Finish by MAC to highlight the areas that I want to bring forward. Right now I'm still just contouring. And now I'm applying the Soft and Gentle to the collarbones and her shoulders. Also with a 190. She's so beautiful. She seriously looks amazing without any makeup, so this was like the easiest bride to do, but I'm just applying now the same highlighter, Soft and Gentle, to her cheekbones. I'm just really kind of buffing it in there. And now I'm using MAC's Warm Soul blush on the apples of her cheeks, also with the 190. If your client doesn't have as noticeable cheeks, apples of their cheeks, just have them smile and you can find them very easily. And I like to start on the most prominent point and just do little circles until it fades around it. And right now I'm putting a brow finisher, which is a wax stick by MAC, on the whole brow, because I'm using a very light shade for her brows, and if you were to apply this directly to the skin, it would basically not really show very well at all because it doesn't have anything to stick to. So the wax just gives something for the lighter brow colors to stick to, so it's not like they're not there at all. I really wanted to keep hers super soft because they were just perfect shape. They just needed to be a slightly darker for pictures. And I believe I was using Omega for her brows. And I'm just using a 266 for this. MAC's angle brushes are worth the price. They have such a precision edge and they're so thin, you can get this super sleek brow. The wax also helps to just maintain the shape and keep any hairs from turning or flying out of the shape of the natural brow. So for now, I had her go get her hair done, and I just touched up some of the other bridesmaids that I had already done, just their lips. I always feel like doing lip last is the best because obviously that wears off first. And here's just another look from the bridal party.
So gorgeous.
And the beautiful Heather. And here is with the lip applied and mascara. On her lips, I have Cream of Spice Liner by MAC and To the Future Pro Longwear, which you want to take into consideration that they will be kissing their significant other and you don't really want it to transfer, so take Pro Longwear products into consideration for their lips, especially if they're doing red.